Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, which is to say in the Paleo Hebrew, Yahweh, the name of the Heavenly Father, meaning He is, Bahashem, meaning in the name, Yahweh Shai, meaning He is our salvation. To the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans here in the Western Hemisphere, and to the rest scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth, who look like the other nations, but through the patrilineal lineage go back to the Hebrew Israelites. Financial woes. Financial woes are on the way. This is from the article The Daily Hold, and the headline reads, JPMorgan Chase and Citibank are abruptly terminating accounts, triggering chaos and confusion for customers. Report. Okay, and this was reported on November 10th, 2023, just a day ago. So this article reads, a new report is calling out JPMorgan, Chase, Citibank, and the U.S. banking system at large for kicking loyal customers to the curb in a systemic exiting process. Okay, nearly 200 former Chase customers have sent complaints to the New York Times stating their accounts was wrongfully terminated, triggering financial chaos and confusion. Okay, and this is, all by design. This is not, just some sheer coincidence. It says the account terminations are due in part to a sweeping bureaucratic security process that's supposed to thwart criminals and stop fraud, terrorism, money laundering, and human trafficking. But the closures are placing honest people and businesses in dire financial straits, with banks often taking weeks to send account balances after termination. So not only are they terminating these customers' bank accounts, but they're sending, the termination and the balance weeks after they done that. So the customers don't have any idea or clue what's going on for weeks until they get, a notice that their bank account has been terminated. It says, and although abrupt account closures appear to be on the rise, banks are not required to report details on how many accounts are being shut down or how often they make a mistake. So they're not even required by law to tell you how many accounts are actually being shut down, by mistake. They don't have to, report that by law. It says, let's read that again. And although abrupt account closures appear to be on the rise, banks are not required to report details on how many accounts are being shut down or how often they make a mistake. So by law, they don't have to report this to the customers. JPMorgan Chase spokesman Jerry Dubrowski says the bank is following the law and so-called de-risking shutdowns are typically justified. So by law, they are justified to shut down accounts without telling the customers exactly what's going on. So you left in the dark, not knowing, your account has been closed and terminated. And they don't have to, tell you by law. So this begs the question, what's really going on? Are they setting up the scene for something more dramatic and big to take place, in the upcoming weeks, months, or however long? I don't know. I can't tell you. I'm not a financial advisor. But what I can tell you, is to be prepared for whatever. Because the signs are here. Banks are closing, are being consolidated. They're shutting down and terminating customers' accounts without, without telling them and letting them know what's going on. It's just something that doesn't sit right. me myself, I have had some weird, you know, things going on with the credit union that I use to, bank with. All of a sudden, now I go to put in my information, and it's telling me I've exceeded my limit, my daily limit attempts that I could use, to transfer money per day, even though I haven't even been able to transfer any kind of money. So yeah, something is totally going on with this banking system. Is it getting ready to, crash? Because they always say it's going to happen on a Friday, Friday afternoon, going into the weekend, when the banks are closed to the, public, and they can't do anything about it. That's going to be the perfect time for them to, crash the market. So we don't know how or what's going to bring about the downfall of this dollar, but the signs are there for the taking. We can see there's something wrong with the banking system, so it's only a matter of time. Okay, so let's go and get a couple of precepts. It's not going to be too long, and then we're going to close out from there. All right, this is St. Luke chapter 4, and we're going to jump down to verse 4. So this is Luke 4:4. And it reads, and Yahushua answered him, saying, it is written that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word of the Most High. So we not concerned about, losing this little bit that we have here in this kingdom, because we know we're not going to live by bread alone. And in this case, the bread being represented by the money that you use to sustain your life with, we're not going to live by bread alone, but by every word of the Most High. The word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is what's going to sustain us through these times. Okay? So even if they do crash the market to bring in this, new banking system headed by these CBDCs, and eventually, the mark, we not worried about that, because we know we can't live off this grid. We can't live on this man grid forever. We can't live by bread alone. We not looking to be part of this, this new age banking technology. Okay? We waiting and we praying for the downfall of this system. Okay? So that's music to our ears, Although it's going to be a rough transition, we not worried, because we know exactly what's going on. Now, to those who don't have a clue to what's going on, yeah, it's troublesome for them to see their bank accounts being closed and terminated and not having an idea what's coming around the corner. Okay? Because they got so much invested in this man's kingdom that they don't know what to do once it crashes. They're not going to have an idea of what to, expect. To them, it's just going to come naturally. The bank closes, they open it up again under this new banking system. Now you have to, take whatever it is they give you, as opposed to not having your own. You're going to have to receive whatever they give you in the form of whether it's a digital currency, or if they roll out straight with the mark, you're going to have to receive whatever it is that they give it to you. Okay? But you being in the truth and having faith, we're going to understand that we can't live by bread alone. Okay? We can't live off this man's system. It wasn't meant and it wasn't built for us to live off this man's system. Okay? We was brought here for a specific reason, to serve our time, to wake up and to turn back and repent. Okay? So this system wasn't designed for us to live on it forever. So this is Yahushua saying, and it is written that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word of the Most High. But you can live by every word of the Most High, because that's where you're going to find your solace at, your refuge, your safety. It tells us in Isaiah the 33rd chapter. Let's go there. This is Isaiah 33, in verse 6. It says, "In wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation, the fear of Yahweh is his treasure." So that's where we're going to get our solace from, having wisdom and stability, knowing what's going on, knowing this is part of prophecy, that this kingdom has to fall in order for us to get the kingdom to come. So this man's system has to be completely wiped off the face of this earth. So he has to, as they say, get rid of the old, out with the old and in with the new. So he's getting ready to do away with this system and bring in what he believes is a new, better system, a digital, CBDC, central bank digital currency. Okay, so if he has to wipe out all the customers' accounts and terminate them for the time being, in order for him to roll out his new currency, then we understand that's part of the process. We're not tripping over it. Okay, if you have some money put aside, okay, that's not going to deliver you. Okay, you need to have that understanding. Okay, so even if you do have money put aside, not saying that there's anything wrong with that, that's not going to be the deciding factor that's going to deliver you out of these perilous times that we getting ready to come into. That's what we're reading right here in Isaiah the 33rd chapter, 6th verse. "In wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times." This truth is what's going to put you ahead of game. Okay, so you're going to know the next step that this man is getting ready to do. So these financial woes that's on the upcoming, this is all part of prophecy. Okay, we know that he has to roll out, in his eyes, more better and efficient system, which he's going to pitch to the public as the mark. Okay, so however you want to go about doing it, be prepared. Man should not live by bread alone, but by every word of the Most High. So that was it, just found that interesting. If the reports are true that, these big banking companies, they are terminating customers' accounts and not even letting them know. And by law, they don't have to tell them that. So who's to say you can't be next on the list and wake up one day and have your bank account terminated and have no clue to what's going on and be left in the dark? Okay, so we understand, being in the truth, that you can't put nothing past this devil, man. He's going to do what he was designed to do. All right, so let's go ahead and close out in 1 Peter. Not going to make it too long, and we're going to take it from there. This is 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8, and it reads, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour." And if he can put fear inside your mind, your heart, and have you to worry about how you're going to pay for this and what's the outcome if the market, speaking of the stock market, crashes and the dollar, takes a dramatic fall, and now you have no kind of security because the dollar isn't worth anything anymore. He's going to let that fear ride, and he's going to let it pump inside your mind. But it says what? Be sober, be vigilant, because we know wisdom and stability, wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of thy times. We know that from being sober and being vigilant by watching and seeing, all the plays that he's rolling out of his playbook. So we're not going to be taken and caught off by, surprise. So he's not going to devour the 1/3, the elect, but the 2/3, they're going to walk straight into the snare, the fowler's snare. All right. So, I pray somebody was edified, and until the next time, if it be the Lord's will, stay strong, stay in the faith. We almost home. Shalom.